Hey guys, Prowl here, and after you guys seem to have liked my last Scarlet Witch video a decent amount, which I've made when I was only in gold tier, now that I've used a lot of that was like in that guide to get myself up to Grandmaster rank, I wanted to build on that more, show you some really good specific examples of the use, and kind of, I guess, help hone the message and all of the things that Scarlet Witch is so good at, because I really want to kind of help build this hero out of everybody thinking that she's like D or F tier and get her probably into a solid like B or maybe even A tier on a lot of people's lists, and specifically for you guys playing her. Also, one thing I really want to stress in this video is, unlike some heroes and some play styles of some heroes where it really takes a like specific kind of skill and a ton of hours and a ton of practice to get a hero to perform well a certain way or in different scenarios. One thing that I really wanted to stress is I think anybody can do this with Scarlet Witch. All it takes is like knowing the strategies and what to do when, and just getting practice at doing it. It doesn't take a lot. You just have to execute well. You have to be patient, and you have to take the fights that you know should be taken. It doesn't take a ton of mechanical skill. It just takes a little bit of thinking. And I feel like I'm probably perfect proof of that. I'm 40 years old. I don't play the game full time. I've never played a hero shooter before Marvel Rivals. Never really even played like ranked or anything like that before Rivals. And I've solo queued all the way up to Grandmaster 3. I feel like I have a lot of room to go up still. I felt like I was a little bit more of a one trick with her, and there are things that can shut her down or scenarios that she's not going to be good at. So I've been taking more time off of Witch to learn some other heroes as like a backup to her or to flex into different positions. But Scarlet Witch is still my favorite to use, and I'm using this to help support me climbing higher with her, hopefully into, you know, what's the next tier, Celestial, whatever the next tier up is. I think it goes Celestial, Eternity, Celestial, whatever one it is. I do think I still have some room to climb with her, and I think she can get up there even if you're not the most skilled gamer out there. So I won't be going over the very basics here with her. If you want to see the very basics, go back to my last guide video. That'll kind of have everything that you need to see there. So if you like these type of guide videos and want to see more of Scarlet Witch or more of some other heroes that I kind of plan on working on and doing stuff with, let me know by clicking the like button down below and subscribing to the channel. That lets me know that you guys want to see more, and it lets YouTube know that you want to see more too, and helps grow the channel. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's dive in to our first segment, and that's kind of how I'm going to break things down. We're going to go over a few different like segments, and I'm going to go over specific video footage for each segment. So we're going to have everything from her default positioning to diving healers to coordinating dives with others, playing for your life with her, escaping big damage, all of this different kind of stuff. I've pulled out some good replays of mine and some timestamps. So we're going to hop in, and I'm going to go over each one and why each one kind of fits that particular thing and how you should be playing Witch. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go over is default positioning. And one of the videos I'm going to show you all of this from is going to be this replay right here. I went 45-2 in this match, 25 final hits, 25k damage. It was a really good match. One of my best ones I've ever had with her. So let's go ahead and dive in. And let's talk about default positioning. Where should you be starting from? Where should you kind of default to when nothing else is open and available? So your default position should be like I am down here. I'm down here with the frontline tanks. I call this the default because it's where you need to be whenever you don't have a target you are directly engaging with. And you'll see here I'm going up and engaging, but then I'm going to drop back to that default position. It allows you to build up your ult charge really quick, potentially help you burst down a tank that gets really low, and interrupt tanks with your stun, giving your tanks and what's going on the battlefield a little bit more of an advantage than they would otherwise have. It also gives you a really good view of where everybody is while also keeping you in line of sight of your healers, so you get to see who can you pick off, and your healers can see you in case you get in trouble and you need to be healed. Also, it makes you not a primary target. You can see right there during that sequence, unfortunately my team wiped. I was the last one left alive there, and I was right there in the middle of the fight the entire time. So I'm not being focused down by anybody because I'm kind of in the larger crowd. I can phase up out of line of sight from most people while I rain down my attacks. And then I reset back down to my tanks to continue building my ult charge up. You see just that one fight right there, I got all the way up to 79%. It's builds up pretty quick. And finally, it puts you a phase away from just being able to get out of line of sight of whoever's attacking you and to get behind or with your healers. You can also do the same thing from like different areas of the map from off angles. You're still kind of like you're acting and playing in the same way, but instead of using your tanks as cover, you're using the environment as cover. So you'll see like in this scene right here where I'm using this top area of an environment for cover. I'm still pretty close to my tanks. I'm also dropping down into the cloak ult here, and I can just kind of easily phase in and out of that type of positioning. So basically you're still playing with your tanks when you're doing this, but sometimes you're not actually directly on the ground with them, but you're close enough to them where you can easily drop down or phase over and be back with them without going very far. Okay, we have another section here I want to talk about, and it's diving healers. I call this diving because well, I guess almost literally you're going from above and you're looking down onto the healers. This works really good in conjunction with other dives. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But diving healers and DPS is something that Wanda is phenomenal at. So in this case, while I was in my default position down with the tanks, you guys saw this sequence play out earlier. We're going to play it out a little bit slower for you. You see that I can spot a healer that's weak. I can phase up out of sight of everybody. And then I can rain down my burst shots on them, which do area damage and do a pretty decent amount of damage, especially if you have all 4 of them available. And then I'm going to weave in my left click, holding down the left click button to do damage in between those bursts, just to maximize the amount of damage I'm doing and the amount of time that I'm doing it. So what you're going to see in this scene is I spot Loki and I see that it's a good opportunity to do a dive. So let's kind of play it out here. So you can see him in the back line there. And I'm going to peek him here in a second. I'm running in slow motion a little bit. I see Loki is available. I go up. He's isolated too, right? He doesn't have anybody close to him. And then you're going to see I'm weaving in the left click, holding that down with the right click of doing the burst. Here's the excellent part about this. With Wanda, you don't have to directly aim at the target the whole time. Now your bursts, you do want to hit every time directly because it does more damage, but if you miss, you're still going to do damage to them like this because you're aiming down. So we can watch here. Here's burst number 1. I did not hit, took a small chunk of damage. Burst number 2, also did not hit. As you can see, my aim's not great. Burst number 3, burst number 4, even all 4 of them not directly hitting, but landing beside Loki, took him all the way down to just a sliver of life left, and I'm able to finish him off. All right, so you're going to see in this sequence right here, we're going to do another engagement of healers, but I'm going to do things a little bit different this time. So we're going to let it play out. We're going to play it in slow motion again. I'm taking care of the clone here. My attention is going to get diverted up to the Human Torch up there. He tries to die me. I do a little bit of damage, but here's the thing, right? I have 1 phase left. With 1 phase left, I don't want to just phase up in the air and then aim down on the invisible woman that we're about to hit right here, because if something goes wrong, I don't have an escape. I don't have a phase to get myself out of a mass amount of damage that comes in a short period of time. So what do I do here? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak the back line here, which normally you would not do with a character like her because you're squishy. You're going to get targeted. You're going to get killed, right? But we are able to do this. I'm going to put it in slow motion here. And with you can see with my primary attack, I'm able to keep damage on her. My bursts have been built up, and now I can easily burst her down, aim it at the feet to make sure that if I miss, I still do damage. Because with Wanda, you don't get like crits or anything like that. So whether you do damage on her feet, you hit the feet or you hit the head, it doesn't matter. And that, again, in that very short period of time, that engagement, I was able to take her out. And now look, I can phase up and away to just kind of reassess the battlefield and see what's going on. And worst case scenario, I can go up high and then aim back down on people when I'm out of the way again and can't be seen. We've already built up another phase here too, so I'm safe to engage and not have to worry about any type of repercussions because I can just phase out, just like you see right there, duck cover, and now I'm good to re-engage with my team as safety rather than having a phase for safety. Okay, so here's a different replay that I wanted to take a look at. It's the same thing, but I just wanted to show you a couple of examples of coordinating dives. This works incredibly well, and it may even work better than like a Black Panther and a Spider-Man trying to coordinate a dive together because their timing is a lot more tight than yours is. So in this particular match, I was in voice comms with my team, and I don't think the Black Panther could talk to me, was talking on voice comms, but he could hear me. So what I told him was, when I see you dive, I'm going to dive too. So what you're going to see here is in the meantime, I'm kind of helping protect the dive with my team by keeping Venom weak. But then when I see the Panther do a dive, I'm going to dive in with him. So I saw him up there. You see him right there. So I know he's about to dive. So I'm going to go up and safely be able to dive with him. He's going in for the kill. I'm going to go ahead and throw down my burst. And the two of us together here are going to clean up the healers pretty easily. We had that Star-Lord ult beside, not ult, but use his ability beside me. So I've got myself out with my phase. And then now I'm going for the kill on the healer. I don't have a phase up, but I feel like getting the second healer down is worth risking death, because without either healer, even if I die, the team's going to win the engagement. Here we get her down. I end up being safe. My phase actually comes back up, so I'm able to get away from the Star-Lord, and we're able to win this fight because of that coordinated dive. Here it is one more time in full speed, because I know a lot of people like to see stuff go at full speed. I see the Panther. I go in. I burst. We take out one. I phase away because I'm getting damaged. I see a chance to go for the healer, and we get the kill, secure it, and then I phase out of danger as soon as I see that Star-Lord has the advantage on me and can potentially take me out. Here's another coordinated attack with the Panther. I'm going to run this one at full speed for you guys, and I just want you to watch how me and him work together to dive the team. They're in the area right here below us. It is, I think, the entire team down there, and our team is, I think, on the way back from a recent wipe, or they're holding further back towards the next point. And what you'll see right here is we do coordinate this dive together at the same time. Panther starts diving, I start bursting. I'm putting out damage to anybody I can see that is moving quickly at the time. Take out the pillar right there, and we get an entire team wipe just from me and Panther attacking. I think the only one we did not get in this engagement was the Magneto, which our team was pushing, and it looks like maybe that Venom did get away from us. Okay, so the next thing I want to touch on is playing your life, and there's like a very specific rule I have when it comes to playing your life, and it is you always want to have a phase available to ensure that you stay alive. So if you're going to engage, have a phase available so you can get away. It's one of like Wanda's biggest parts of her and maybe best part of her entire kit, because if you stay alive, it's more time that you get to spend doing damage and less time you spend running back to battle. You're less of a liability to your team if you're not dead, because then it's 6v6 or 6v5 or 6v4 in your team's favor, rather than you getting a kill and then dying and your team doesn't get an advantage. So one of the things I like to point out, and I like to say, is that most of the stats in the game are kind of meaningless, right? When you look at these stats, kills and assists and even final hits to an extent, damage, healing, these things matter a little bit, but they're not the end all be all. You can have a really high score and not have contributed a whole lot to your team winning the match. You can have a lot of damage and that damage be kind of meaningless, but deaths matter, because every time you die, what definitively happens is it takes you time to get back to the fight. Sometimes a death is warranted, right? If I'm going to dive two healers and I'm going to kill both of them at the expense of my own life, two healers for a DPS, that's a good trade. But those types of trades don't happen often. And with Wanda, it doesn't really even have to be a trade with her, because not most of the time you're going to be within one phase away from your team, and you're going to have a phase available. So I wanted to show you a couple of examples of that happening, and we're going to play it in slow motion here, so that way you can see that one of these skills that you need to have as Wanda is just have a quick reflex. You want to have a quick reflex when it comes to hitting that phase button. Whenever you hear that sound of I'm about to die, or you can otherwise see on the screen like it's not looking good, phase away, protect your life. So right here, I'm trying to dive some of their, actually, it looks like I'm going for their Human Torch. I do get the kill there. And I am going for their Invisible Woman. She goes invisible. I can't hurt the Loki right now. I've changed my attention over here. I start taking some damage, and I don't like my position. I am between their healers and their tanks. Loki has the what are they called? The lamps, beacon, whatever they are, the lamps up. So I can't really do a whole lot here. I could try to take out the lamps. It takes me a little while to do that. So rather than risk staying inside of this area for no value or little value, I'm instead going to play my life, phase up. I took a little bit of damage. I'm gonna play the health kit here, or at least play close. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna play the health kit here. And actually here, after getting that kit, what I'm going to do is I see my team's getting backed up here. So I'm gonna do a little bit of fighting because I have a phase available. I see that I'm in danger now. So I'm gonna phase. I see at this point, I know how long my phase lasts, just kind of internal timing from doing it enough. If I try to go back to the team, I'm probably gonna stop somewhere just short of the thing. I'm a prime target. So what am I going to do instead? I'm going to break line of sight by going up here. It also puts me in position to, if I wanted to fight down there, or in this case, looks like I'm going to go and drop this way closer to my team. I have one phase up, so I can just rejoin the battle, or actually we can alt, and I'm going to talk about alts a little bit later. We're not going to watch this one play out right now because I think I have this one saved for a little bit later. And here's another example where I'm going to play my life. So you see the team is mixing it up here. I'm going to go ahead and play in with them. I'm fighting the whole team is right here in my face right now, and I believe I'm a prime target. So Wolverine here is backing me up. Looks like he did go elsewhere. You see I have 2 phases available. So I'm pushing into the entire team right here. Most other heroes are going to be dead. I'm able to safely feel like I can do damage. And then if they're going to come in on me like this, I can phase up and out and get back to safety with my team. I have another phase available. I use that. I also threw down a stun to further slow them down from getting me. Now I'm in a safe position. I played my life. I didn't get greedy. I stuck to the rules of not getting myself in a bad situation unless I have phases available. And that's a situation where now I'm still here to fight and help continue this battle onwards rather than waiting 10 seconds or whatever to spawn and get back to the fight. And that helps me push the team, or helps me push the healers out and assist my team in moving the point. Here's another one I'm going to play really quick. This is just being really quick and reactive for knowing when you're about to get hit by something big, or in this case, I believe it's a strange ult. So I'm just going to play this through right here, and you're going to see that the second I hear that strange ult coming, the second you hear that sound cue, I might have actually peeked him going up there too, so I kind of knew he was doing it. But the second you hear that ult go off, whether you know it's aimed at you or you're in zone of it or not, go ahead and phase, because nothing can get you. And then that allows me to go up into the air, and then I can continue to engage without dying down there, because Strange is going to kill you if he hits you with that ult. And it allows me to get that pick that you guys saw earlier in this replay right here. Here's another one, just going to play it through at full speed so you guys can see exactly how it plays out in real time. Actually, I was not at full speed there. Here we go. Oh, that was full speed. I saw him go up. I knew he was going to use it. Phase, get up out of danger, and then I'm free to continue to do damage and assist my team. Not caught in the eye. And in this case, looks like I'm going to try to get away. And I think I die right here. I get myself trapped, but I didn't really have anywhere better to go. But there's your example of how to use it and why you need to keep phases in reserve at all times. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, since we've gone over like the phases and how they can keep you safe, this enables something that is extremely useful and helpful to your team. This enables you to be extremely aggressive with Wanda. She's one of the most aggressive out of the heroes that I have played, especially for as long as you can stay in a fight with her, that other heroes can't do, because she has these phases that make her invulnerable to damage and allow her to fly at a pretty decent speed to wherever she wants to. And it's hard for people to see where you're going when you do it. It lets you aggressively position and aggressively push enemies as long as you are playing cover and as long as you have another phase in the background to use if things get a little too crazy. So in this scene here, you're going to see our team trying to cap the final point. This is the same match that we were in, and you're going to see me play further in than my tanks and anybody else on the team, because I have that safety of the phases, and I want to be aggressive because that aggressiveness is going to reward us with the win here if I have everybody playing the back side of the point worrying about me rather than being able to push to the front side of the point, stopping the cart and engaging the rest of my team. So here we go. We're going to play it through. You see, I am targeting anybody I can at the time. We got a pick right there on the Star-Lord. I am pushing the Loki here. I am all the way in. That's a clone. Still got to take out the clones. I'm able to phase because I'm getting hit by the Loki. I want to reposition on him. I take the Loki out. The Star-Lord is back in. Looks like we got Invis back there. Strange got taken out by me, Venom, and the rest of the team. And I think that's the end of the sequence right there. So in part, due to my aggressiveness, we're able to get the pick there and get the win. We also have some really good like ult uses in this game, and Wanda's ult is one of the harder to use, but after the update happened, you do get an extra 100 health when you ult now, so it does help keep you alive a little bit longer. It may not seem like a lot, but it does help quite a bit. You're still susceptible to being killed. You're still susceptible to being crowd controlled, interrupting your ult. So you're still going to have to find a balance of keeping cover, making sure that the enemy can't even see you, but also needing to get out far enough or in a position where you can get as many enemies or at least get 1 or 2 picks that are important within the fight. So you're going to kind of see some of that decision making here as I go through and use the ult. Keep in mind that Wanda's ult is extremely strong. It does 750 damage in 1 shot, which means it will one-shot every hero in the game except for Groot, Venom, and Hulk while he's in his ult. There may be a couple of other instances of characters that can build up high health for short periods of time, but because it does so much damage in 1 hit, it will kill through all of the healer ults for characters that don't have more than 750 HP, making it extremely powerful. So here's example number 1. I'm going to go ahead and use it, and you can see that I was just kind of balancing being back there behind, but also I want to get in position because if you take a look here, we got let's do this. We got the Strange right here. He's going to shield block me some, so I might not even get the kill on him unless his shield's about to die, which it might be. But his shield can also block hits on other characters, so I need to move out and hopefully move up a little bit. Oh, looks like the Strange, they killed the Strange, which allowed me to get a kill on, I didn't even see who it was. Looks like Invisible Woman and the Thing. So we were able to get some picks there. Here you're going to see another one. I'm going to play it in slower speed for you. This one, we're inside of Invisible Woman ult. So like the other enemy, they cannot see me. Oh, I think we're inside of, yeah, this is what I'm blue. So we're actually inside of the enemy Invisible Woman ult. And you see, I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here. I'm going to use it. And there we go. How many did we get? 3. So we zapped the Strange, the Invisible Woman, and the Human Torch inside of the Invisible Woman ult. Great to use inside of enemy ults, by the way, because it's going to make them move if they know, which most of them do, that you can kill them inside of it. And here's one more example where, again, we're going to use cover here and we're inside of an Invisible Woman ult. So again, I want to push them out of this. They may not be thinking about the fact that I can kill them inside of this ult. I'm using cover. As you can see, they can't see me. And what I'll do is I will move outside of that cover. Let's get a little bit better angle here. And kind of funny, the building fell down on me there, but we picked 2 kills, both healers. Both healers died. That wins that battle right there because now they don't have any healers left alive. All right, I had to insert this in. I noticed while I was editing that I missed a couple of other like really good ways for you to use your ult that I should mention. So first, using it inside of your own healer ults is a pretty obvious solution. It's great since you don't have to worry about dying inside of those healer ults. But keep in mind that if you're using it inside of one of your own healer ults, that you do still have to worry about being crowd controlled. So just be aware of that. You still have to worry about it being CC'd. You have to worry much less about dying. If you use it inside of your Invisible Woman ult, any enemies outside of her ult they can't see or hear that you're ulting. And that's one of the biggest things about Wanda's ult, is that it's very well projected. People know it's coming. So if you do it just inside of the wall of Invisible Woman's ult, then you're very likely to snag many kills if there's enemies on the outside, because they don't even know what's happening. Okay. Now, you're also going to want to try and partner up with a Magneto or a Strange, because the Magneto can bubble you. That keeps you from being CC'd and keeps you from being damaged. Keep in mind, the bubble does not last as long as it takes for your ult to go off. So you're going to have good timing with your Magneto. Also, Strange shielding in front of you is a great way to block incoming damage from one direction and from being crowd controlled. So try to partner up with your Strange as well. You can also partner up with Strange when he's portaling. If you guys are about to portal onto point to try to cap at the end of the match or whatever, and you have your ult available, use the ult on your side of the portal, and then at that last second, pop through. I've heard that they can't even, I've been told that they can't even hear it coming. But even if they can, the fact that they can't target you until right when you pop through at the very end is going to be very useful and help you get a lot of kills as well, especially when you're trying to push point to eliminate the other team and have your team capture it. Huge if you can portal through and pop that ult at the last second. And then finally, I want you to be aware of things that can get in the way of your ult. It does burst like out from you, kind of like draw a straight line out from your hero in all directions. That's how it hits. So things that obstruct that line of sight will protect things behind it. You saw me mention it earlier with the Strange shield. Magneto shield does the same thing. And Groot walls also do the same thing. So if you're ulting and there's a Groot wall in the way and a healer standing behind it, they're not going to get hurt. So best case scenario, if you can, you want to fly up. That way, like the angle outwards that you're projecting compared to those obstructions is less. They're blocking less space, meaning you're going to hit more things. But just something else to keep in mind to try to help you connect the ult as much as you can. You can see here on my hero page, I've actually gotten a little bit better at this. I'm getting almost 3 kills every 10 minutes. It's still not as good as many other heroes' ults, but these can come in crucial moments in time in the match to help you out, and something that I'm still practicing and getting better at. I'm also solo queuing, so I don't have somebody I'm working with directly to help me get the ults off. I'm kind of relying on my team and just the situation a little bit to get them off. So again, that was a really great game for me. I want to talk about some of your weaknesses, at least that I found, that you may have with Wanda and what you want to look out for. So first of all, this is a weakness to a lot of people, is Bucky. Definitely a weakness for me, because if you get close enough to him, he's going to pull you, he's going to uppercut punch you, he's going to shoot you, and you're going to die before you can hit the phase button. The stun that he gives has not worn off by the time that you're dead. So getting close to a Bucky is always going to be very dangerous. If I engage a Bucky, it's always from high above. I throw down a stun, I burst him down, and assuming I get him to like less than half health, I might go ahead and full engage him then. If I don't, especially if he spotted me, I'm going to phase away and protect my life, because if he pulls me, if he's good, I'm done. And I don't want that to happen. So Bucky, which is probably like Bucky, and the next one I'm going to mention, they're pretty much the 2 strongest heroes in the hero pool right now in terms of like, you probably want to start banning these guys. The other one is Namor. The squids as Wanda are really hard to deal with. It's like she's going to be one of the worst at dealing with squids, because her primary attack is relatively short range and it kills the squids very slow. It's not even worth trying, almost. And then her right click, the burst, you only have 4 of them. So with squids that are spread out in any way, shape, or form, it's not going to do much. And it takes a few of the bursts to even kill a squid. So unless your team is looking out for them, Namor is not it. You don't want to really go up against Namor. Also, Spider-Man is a hard one. Ones that are really good at doing the combo where they web sling you and then they do like the uppercut and they basically kill you before like you even know what happens. The reason why Spider-Man's a big problem is because there's a bug in the game right now where if he webs you and then you phase after the web sticks you, his hit, even though you're phased, will hit you, and it'll actually bring you out of the phase, which I don't believe is supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be able to be brought out of the phase, but this like weird 2-part move thing that happens with Venom has one. I think it'll work that way with Bucky too if you phase at the wrong time. So anything that has like a grab and then a hit is no go for Wanda. You can't get out of it. You have to wait until after the hit to try to phase. The Punisher can sometimes be a problem. If he's like allowed to uncontested set up a turret or has a rocket where he can use the infinite ammo like speed boost thing, Punisher is going to be a hard one to deal with. He's also kind of hard for you to like dive and kill because Punisher has a little bit larger health pool. So he's a lot more trouble to deal with. Again, especially if he's partnered with a rocket raccoon. Hellas can be a problem. It just kind of depends. Right now in the game, at the time I'm recording this, Hella's a big problem because she has no damage drop off. But the deal with Hella really just depends on, can you get within your effective range on her? Can you surprise her? If you can, you're probably going to get the kill. You can throw a stun, throw down a few bursts. She's probably going to try to bird away. And if she does, all you have to do after you've gotten a couple bursts off is you just got to kind of nick her with the left click and she's going to die. Adversely, if you engage a Hella, don't do it from the air if she knows you're coming or you think she's going to be able to target you. You're sitting duck up in the air for a Hella with decent aim, drop down to the ground, and then jump straight from round kind of erratically because it makes it harder for her to hit you. But with your primary attack and your burst attack, it's still pretty easy for you to hit her. So you do have a bit of an advantage if you've caught her by surprise. But if she catches you in range, don't even bother with her. She's going to be a little bit of a problem. If she's playing with a team that allows her to play back and that other team has a strong front line, Wanda's not going to be the play in that type of scenario because you can't get in close enough to Hella to do anything. When your team's not gaining ground, you're probably going to want to try somebody else. And then triple healer compositions where the other team has 3 healers can be a little bit of a problem depending on the rest of your team around you. Because if you're kind of left alone to dive the enemy healers in the back, she does decent enough damage to get kills, but when there's 3 healers, it becomes a lot harder. And even if you happen to sneak in 1 kill, 2 healers can keep the other team up until that 3rd healer gets back. So you're just going to have to kind of gauge it, right? If you have somebody else that can dive them with you, a Venom, a Spidey, a Panther, a Magic, like work those dives with them and you'll have a ton of success. But if you're the only one really putting out a lot of damage on the back line, you're going to have a hard time. I appreciate you guys watching. If you feel like you got a lot out of this, if you liked it, let me know down in the comments below. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you want to see more guides like this to help you out with figuring out all the different heroes in Marvel Rivals. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next time.